Hello, I just want to do a little tutorial in terms of how I go about making music. Now, I'm not trained as a musician, nor do I know music theory, but took some piano lessons and just really fiddled around with mainly DAWs or digital audio workspaces over the years, and it's something I really enjoy. And the reason for that is I find as artists we're all very strong at communicating different aspects. So let's say, for example, for me, when I draw or when I do anything like 2D art, my own process is to communicate an idea, a design. But I know some of my friends are so talented at creating moods with color, lighting, composition, and you can feel the emotions within it. Mine more so is just communicating something, because I'm heavily reliant on visual development or concept design. And I've always wanted to bridge some sort of mood into my artwork. And with the discovery of Blender, with CG, I can take my music, which this is like my an artist's hobby for me, and I can use that to amplify it, because for me the language of music is mood, is emotions, and that's how I can convey my own emotions or emotions that I want of a scene through these abstract sounds, abstract art representing abstract concepts of feelings. It's very hard to put in words. Anyway, so when you boot it up, this is FL20, we can insert VSTs through here. That's just basically just the way the sounds are, and I'm just going to use a basic synth, 3x oscillator, and this is very simple, and we can play around with this stuff, but there are more advanced ones that look very intimidating. At least when I first started, to say like Harmless here, all these kind of tools. Now these produce way more complicated sounds than this, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll use something like this, so you're not overwhelmed with all of this stuff here. And of course, with each of these, there are presets. This one doesn't have any presets. Well, actually, maybe it does. Nope, it doesn't. You can save your own presets, but this one has a lot of presets. Okay, the audio is up there. So what I mean by that is, like, look at all this. Like, you can just choose a sound, like, oh, I want some pads. Have something like this, as opposed to this one here, which is just very, very simple. But sometimes simplicity and limitations leads itself to very creative situations. So we're going to keep with the very basic one here. Now there are different kind of sound waves you can play around with. You have the sine, saw, square, I don't know what that one's called. The noise, where you can import your own sound bit files, and inverse saw, and random, which is very cool. Alright, so what's the next step here? Well, like any art, when you boot up a program, you're greeted, say, with Photoshop, Clip Studio, what have you, greeted with a blank canvas. And now in this case, it's just this. I'm like, how do I create something with this? Usually I like to start with something like a sketch, or something to aid me along. And if I go into the piano roll, which is, sometimes when I'm trying to do these demonstrations, it's hard to see. Where are you? Oh, piano roll, there we go. And let's just move this here. So all our notes are here, and you can see there's like these little highlights, like here. And the reason for that is because I added a helper, scale highlight, and we can go to default, and you can see like everything's highlighted. But if I wanted, let's see, to play in a minor, and then you can see now those are all the notes for that scale. And let's say go back to helper, and let's go D minor. That's one D minor. Well, I'm going to switch it to melodic. Now, all of these have, like, again, different scales. You can look up what each one sounds like online. This is just the most familiar scale to me. So we have this. We have our highlight. We can, like, okay, I know I can pop these in here and, play this out. So that you can see is it kind of has some sort of rules. We're basically setting the rules here. Now another tool I like to use, or not a tool, the workflow I like to use for creating music is I like to put some chords down first. And so there are some wonderful tools online. One of them is auto chords, Dark Jar Jar, where auto chords. Here it is, and it's going to do memories, D minor, piano, and you can see it's generated a chord progression here. So like, okay, cool. I'll just use this, and it's D minor, G minor, D minor, A minor. Just slap something on here, and rather than me like placing each of the notes for the scale, I'll just go here and go into stamp, tick off only one, stamp, and then we'll go to minor, and it was D minor, and then it was G minor, so F, G here, back to D minor, and then A minor, which is this. And now if we play this, super cool. Whoop. And for me, as I grew with some music knowledge, I kind of like making these a bit wider or larger, so we could. I wonder why it's. Can I cut this? Yeah, you can cut that. Hang on, I'm just gonna pause this and look how to ungroup these chords. Okay, I'm back. I just had to look for the hotkey to ungroup them, which is Alt-G. So basically, I don't like repeating things like this because it gets too, what's the word, like sterile? Not sterile, digital. So I tend to like make these a bit wider. So I'll tend to like say like, oh, I want to put this a bit higher, and now it has like this kind of like descending pattern to it. And if I grab this, split this up, maybe I want to grab the D, bring that up, and then this D here, G, bring this down. This is the same pattern here. Maybe let's hear how this sounds like. That's a nice rumble there, but I kind of like, I think the descending of this is fine. That should look a bit better here. And let's swell this up. Now let's take a look. So this one goes down, up. This one modulates like this. This one might sound a bit weird, but let's listen to this. Sounds way better, I think. We can also add in fifths as well, which is just like the fifth of the root here, just to make it a bit fuller. But let's say if we add another G up here, so it'll be like da 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 da. Let's hear that. I feel like it needs a higher note here if I do that. So if I put the D's will be there, F. So like do 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 do. Let's hear that. Alright, so we're going to put that to 1, which is basically me again. I'm going to start stacking the effects here. And let's just make 2 bars, or 2 bars, 8. And now, I'm just going to lower this, because I'll be playing it quite a bit. I'm thinking, what else can I add here? Well, I'm just going to clone this, and I'm going to copy this, make a new pattern, paste this in, and let's say the beat comes here, pattern 1 goes here, and let's put pattern 2 here. And now I'm thinking about the melody, like, okay, what can I do with the melody here? I could splice this up. I could also use some of the built-in functions, which creates a beat. I think it's, this one here, arpeggiate. We'll click on this, and now, we're gonna hit pattern. I like that. Alright, so just using the same chords, I just arpeggiate it like this, and I should have some harmony. So if we play now, so that's pretty cool. We can change the sound of this so it stands out a little bit more. Let's just try this. Might be a little too loud. Made it a bit lower for a bass. Okay, that's super cool. Now I'm going to move this to number 2, and I'm going to side chain this to the chords so that these notes don't get drowned out by this. Now side chaining is like I'm basically using the volume of the melody to lower the volume of whatever it's sidechained to, so this becomes more prominent. So I'll just click on this, and I'm going to sidechain to this track, go here, and we have to add something called a limiter, which basically means like, hey, I want this to limit the sound from here. So we can see here, if we play this. So you can hear that. So the knee is basically trying to smooth out those harsh drops. You can see right there. Okay, so we're going to get kind of like a Leslie effect here. So now we'll just go to pattern 1, and I just want to make this again a bit fuller, so maybe we can add a bit of reverb to it, which should like really bring it out. And let's see, what else can we add to this? This has some nice feel to it, but I think we can make it a bit fuller if we add chorus to it. Let's see. Chorus. There it is. And let's see, just listen to the pattern, see how that sounds. Ooh, yes. Let's put that here. Okay. Now I know it's a big taboo to add effects on the mixer, but I'm not a professional, so let's add some of that. Let's see here. I'm unbound by chains, shackles. Since I'm a hobbyist, I can break anything. Let's see here. We need, what's the cliche thing to add? I think the dynamics. Maximus. Let's add a Maximus. Lo-fi. All the cool kids do this. So then we add that, create an automation clip, and then bring this down, bring this up, just for some variation. Cool. Can we add automation with this? Yes. So we want to do lower, then up, and then it fades down. Let's see this. Good intro. What else can we do with this one here? Add a phaser. Good old. Cool. Alright, I think we're about done with this. Now we're going to add some sick drums. Now, I'm not really great at adding good beats. You just use like kick, snare, kick, snare. And the reason why it's not playing is because I have it on the low volume, but like... So instead, we're going to add something called FFPC. Where is it? Drum. FPC. And it's loaded with tons and tons of patterns. So it kind of makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. Down tempo. Take a listen to this. Ambient. Maybe those 808s. Polka. I don't know how that sounds like. Oh yeah, that actually is kind of funny. Oh, that's good. Add 3. Make those drums fat. Let's see here. EQ. Okay, so this is the waves of this, and you can see up here that we want to make it a bit fatter, you know? Gonna clip the treble a little bit more. Make it a bit fatter here. That's pretty much it. We have the song. And like I've only used one chord progression, or RPGated it. Used a custom built-in drum pattern, and we have a nice little jingle. And a lot of this stuff is from me learning from YouTube and just reading it up, and lots and lots of experimentations. I have maybe a folder with thousands of like quick musical sketches that I'll like export out and throw it in a blender and pitch it around. But yeah, hopefully it's a little insight. Thank you.